احنا المتحدث الجاي بتاعنا بيتر جولد، ديزاين ليدر ورائد أعمال، يدعو للتصميم الموجه بالقلب. جامعا بين سوري جامعا بين الطموحات الدينية والعملية. بيتر بيشتغل في مجال استراتيجية العلامة. عنده برنامج ألهم الجميع اسمه Heart Center Design أو Heart Center Design. Am I saying it right? اوكي طيب خلاص. هاي مستر بيترز. طيب خلوني ارجع اعرف تاني. ناس بتقولي انه الصوت مش واضح. طيب بيتر جولد قائد تصميم ورائد اعمال، يدعو الى التصميم الموجه بالقلب جامعا بين الطموحات الروحيه والممارسات الاستراتيجيه. على مدار 20 سنه بيتر اتعاون مع جوجل، اتعاون مع ابل والولايات الامم المتحده، ونال شهادة دولية وجائزة مرموقة من الإمارات. وكان سفير للمفوضة السامية للأمم المتحدة لشؤون اللاجئين في 2020. طيب بيتر معاه شهادة، يحمل شهادة الابتكار وريادة الأعمال من ستانفورد، ويدرس التفكير التصميمي. برنامجه قلب التصميم ألهم العديد، وأنا لما حضرت الجلسة بتاعته في الرياض ألهمتني أنا شخصيا، وبتمنى تفيدكم كلكم. So, hi Peter, how are you? I hope you're doing great.
I'm really good. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Great to see you, Yara. Welcome, everyone.
Great to see you too. I was just telling the attendees about you, and mashallah, your experiences are wonderful. I'm going to put you as a host so you can open your
Thank you so much.
presentation. Yes.
Great. So,
Okay. You're our host
thank
now.
you. Thank you so much. Welcome. Great to be with everyone here. ممكن بالإنجليزي لغة الإنجليزي عفوا إن شاء الله في المستقبل اللغة العربية بل الآن إن شاء الله باللغة الإنجليزية عفوا.
إن شاء الله.
thank you. شكرا للصبر. So I'm working working on my Arabic still. So we'll go with
No, your Arabic is good. Your Arabic is good. Nice Arabic.
شكرا جزيلا. الحمد لله.
عفوا.
الآن أنا أهلا وسهلا. الآن أنا في مدينة إسطنبول، ولكن normally I'm in Australia, Sydney, Australia. So anyway, I think I'll just proceed in English, better for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
no problem.
Yeah, but it's good. Thank you for your encouragement. شكرا. Thank you guys. إن شاء الله قليلا.
How's the weather in Istanbul?
It's beautiful, actually. Yeah, it's an evening here. I'm here in Galata, and it's just wonderful. I'm looking at over the Bosphorus here. I'm gonna give you a view over the beautiful Bosphorus.
Wow,
and
nice view.
behind me, you can see the Galata Tower is up there. I'm not sure if it will show, but it's a nice place to host the session tonight, and very inspiring for the heart and the soul, and perfect for our theme tonight, talking about the heart, talking about finding the essence of the brand. So. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get started. We'll just take a moment here. Let's see if I can just get us ready. Just take a moment. Thanks for your patience. I hope my connection is okay as well. I'm not on my normal connection, so thanks for your patience, everyone. Let's go ahead and share a screen. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, so are we seeing the full screen? Is that coming through?
Yes, it's working.
Great. Okay. Okay, then we should see a big screen that says Seeking the Heart of Design. Is that right? Is it coming through?
No.
It's not. Okay.
No.
All right. Cool. Okay, just give me a second here, guys. Let me try something else. Right. So let's go ahead and. Okay, that's why. On a slightly different connection to my normal situation. So, all right, let me go ahead and try this one. Okay. Is that any better? You seeing the screen now?
We can see the screen now, yes.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so all right. We've got a great session ahead. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate your time. Looking forward to exploring with you. And thank you again, Yara, for inviting me. Beautiful topic. You had some great speakers already, and so I'm very honored to be among you. And really excited to look forward to our session, exploring what I call seeking the heart of design. So how we would think about what I might call our authentic brand essence. So really finding our way into the heart of design. So I'm going to be exploring that a little bit and sharing firstly a little bit of a story about how I arrived at some of the thinking and how I think this might be helpful for anyone working in brands, developing products, developing your startups, and working on your creative projects. So by the way, feel free if I'm going too fast or you need anything to jump in, feel free. But I think we'll do some questions at the end. So I think, inshallah, qariban. So let's just take a moment. I know we just had a break a few minutes ago, but before I dive in, I think it's important just to have a little breather and just take a moment of gratitude of the opportunity we have to be together. It's so great to be part of this community. It's very inspiring to be among this wonderful community of people all around Saudi and the region. Kullu Khalij, all the way coming out to Istanbul here. So we're just it's wonderful to be together. So it's nice to take a moment of gratitude and to get us into the right mindset, inshallah, of really thinking deeply about the brand and what we might be building or working on. It's also good maybe just to take what's our intention. Let's set our niyyah. What made us curious about this session? What made us what was the purpose when we saw this beautiful Kashida series that we thought, this might be good, this might be helpful for me. So it's a good time to reconnect with that. I'd love for this session to be practical and helpful and encouraging, inspiring, and feel uplifting. And I won't be talking about technical aspects of branding. You've got many great experts here. I'm going to be talking a little bit about personal journey and how I'd like to encourage and inspire everyone to explore their own journey into the heart of brand and what I call the heart of design. So let me share a little story, and it'll start with an embarrassing photo from 1999. I'm sure a lot of you weren't even born at that time. So here's me in high school in Sydney, Australia. And anyone from that age bracket, you're welcome to use an emoji, raise a hand, give me a thumbs up. If you ever used a computer at that era, you'll remember that the Macs at that time, the PCs, were very big desktops, very chunky. And you had, this is the kind of machine you worked on. But anyone from that time, which is the late 90s, will also remember that it was a time of great excitement and potential. And yeah, I'm seeing a few hands up here. Yeah, yes, Sergey, proper Hackintosh, Nada, yes, Sarah El Khatib. Yes, exactly. Guilty. We're all from that era, so represent. That's it. My kids now will laugh at this. I have, alhamdulillah, 2 teenage girls, and anyway, different story. But the point here was this era was really fun, exciting time. Yes, thanks, Nermin. Thank you. Yes, guilty. We're all guilty. Is this incredible digital and creative potential, right? We suddenly found ourselves with this new era of digital tools. We're able to get online and start, exploring this new thing called the internet. People were making websites. People were trying things out like Flash and new kind of technology were coming at us quickly. And it was a very fertile and exciting time to be a designer. And this whole new world opened up for me. And I started my path freelancing as a graphic designer in high school. My first paid project in graphic design was actually this same year in 1999, where a friend of mine at high school in my art class said, "Hey, Peter, you're always playing around with, stuff on screen. Can you make me a poster? I need a poster for this little competition." I said, "Okay, sure." He goes, "How much will it cost?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, $20." And he goes, "Sure." So I was like, wow, $20 to design a product, that's it. So I was working at a job, like a part-time food job, and I left that straight away. So that's it. Bismillah, I'm going to be a graphic designer. Actually, I didn't say Bismillah yet. That came later. I'll explain why a bit more in a minute. So I started my journey in graphic design, and I've been since running various design teams and projects for about the last 25 years since then. Now, one quote here that I always found very inspiring, as I discovered a little bit later on, the great authors and poets and scholars like Jalaluddin Rumi, and he has this beautiful quote that says, "When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, in a joy." Anyone know that feeling here? I'm sure you all have that feeling. When you do something you really love and enjoy, you feel like you've got this flow. There's something, really beautiful and powerful that is coming through. And this is what I found in the, yeah, exactly, right? Mazboot. you find this feeling of, something that is, it's beyond your, your immediate intention. It's something that comes to you as well. So I found this when I was in design. I thought, wow, what is this? So however, the world of graphic design and digital design and internet was exciting, what happened for me a few years later is only a few years after that, I actually embraced Islam and became Muslim when I was 20 years old. And now I'm 42, so that means it's 22 years, alhamdulillah. And in the last 20 years, my journey has been really in two parts, exploring the world of design and graphic design, digital design, product design. I've, alhamdulillah, worked on different projects and startups. I've built and sold and exited from a startup, and I've helped lots of design teams. But also at the same time, I've explored the spiritual path, understanding the role and purpose in life, and inshallah, that beautiful seeking that beautiful feeling of sakina that you get when you feel aligned. So I was really curious about professional design work and also understanding to work with heart. What does that really mean from the spiritual path? And my journey really began when I was in Andalus in Spain, and I set about with curiosity. Well, what is Islamic design? Because I grew up in Australia where there's not really much Islamic design, and I was very curious, what does this mean? I had seen some books and I thought maybe there's some calligraphy and tiling, but what does it really mean? So, alhamdulillah, I went on a journey over a few years and I went to places like Al-Maghrib and I studied in Fez. I was learning some Arabic. I was exploring the different kind of styles, and a whole new world opened up to me. And I was fascinated by, this beautiful, khat maghrebi and this, different zilij tiling, this whole new visual language of design, understanding geometry and being really, inspired by this feeling that was very different to the kind of design that I had come across in Australia. And I had done design degree at this point, and I had spent 4 or 5 years I did a bachelor's of product design. And I was really curious about these two worlds. And so one of my friends and teachers explained it this way, that, design from this Islamic tradition and from great spiritual traditions is that it's not just for physical beauty, right? So it's not just its look and decoration. It's the design affects the state of people's hearts. Wow. It's like, imagine how a spiritual state is affected by this beautiful design. And so I from years really exploring and trying to see, what does this really mean? What is really, how did we understand design traditionally? So I spent some time in places like Morocco and Turkey. And I love that one of my teachers later explained that design is how we give form to our intentions. So let's pause on that for a sec. Design is how we give form to our intentions. So if you're trying to design something because you want to go and make money and I want to get rich and just build some consumer brand, sell some soda to get money, then you're going to design to get people's attention. You're going to design to try and sell things and pressure them. But if you're trying to design to elevate someone, to affect someone's spiritual state, to put them in a place of contemplation and remembrance and beauty, like these designers of the past, then that's a very noble pursuit of design. And I felt, so much that in the past, our Islamic designers, for example, from around the world had understood this, that they found the beauty and richness in design to elevate our consciousness, encourage us to think. And so even in China, when I went to China, for example, this is a beautiful mosque, very old mosque in China. You will all recognize the basmala there, but it's a Chinese mosque. And what I found and appreciated, that even in China, for example, this wonderful masjid here, is that it's very Chinese in its visual design, but the intention is very clear. It's still a masjid, and its intention is to remind people and encourage them to reflect on God. So what I also discovered, that as I traveled further, is that Islamic design or spiritual design is not Arabic design, right? It could be all kinds of different design languages, but there's a common thread. And so I was very happy to discover all kinds of different creative expressions and all kinds of ways to create visual design, but all for this purpose of reminding and beautiful. So I spent some time in Syria. This is on the outskirts of Damascus. And so one of my teachers, Dr. Mir, said that we have to consciously recover and recalculate a set of ideas, behaviors, and habits. So things that might have existed in the past, how can we bring them today? Because, we don't really have time to sit and just maybe do, beautiful hours of calligraphy. Although we love calligraphy, maybe, we have some deadline. We have to create a brand. The client needs a project tomorrow. We need a website live. We need our Instagram updated. Where are the reels? How can we combine these two things? They're very different intention. But I began to really come to this set of questions. I thought, what would that mean in the modern age, where we all have our spiritual intention? So we're trying to live a good life, be a good person, help people, raise a good family, have our inner wealth, the way we, inshallah, hope for, meaningful and do beautiful, have a comfortable living. But we're also trying to, build brands, create products, do something great in the world, help people, solve problems. So these two paths, you can see these two circles. This is my struggle, guys. I'm sure some of you might have it too. We need to make money and be sustainable. Maybe we don't need to be mega rich, but we need money to survive. And especially as you become a parent like me, I have 3 kids, man. You better make sure you have a certain amount of money to make sure they have a good life and give them some comfort. But on the other side, here on the right side, you want this inner wealth and this tranquil heart. You hope that you have a place of a sakina in your life. You don't want to just always be chasing to find money. So what I came to is this, what I call heart-centered design. So thinking about a set of aspirations or spiritual principles that can inform our design and entrepreneurial practice. So I'm going to just talk very briefly. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to give you a highlight of my kind of hypothesis or my thinking and my own sort of journey through understanding what I call the designing with heart. So I'm going to read out these 6 words. Now, each of these words you would already know. Everyone knows them on this call. You're very familiar with them. But I want you to rethink of them a little bit differently and reframe them and focus them about developing your brand, developing your product, developing your startup. And so with our niyyah, being very conscious about how are we reframing the project personally. What are we really hoping to do with this? How are we spending our time? And having a clear, holistic understanding of your brand and design. That it's not just to sell things or make something look cool, but really, what does it fit into your life and the community you're serving? How can you think more holistically, not just about, hey, I need to make a cool brand that people want to buy something. We don't, because we live, guys, in an age of distraction. A lot of the best design is, if you think about it, let's be honest, we design for attention, distraction. We're trying to make the best reel, get the most attention, keep you addicted, as long as they can. And so, for example, I tell my design students, they once asked the CEO of Netflix, who is your biggest competitor? So everyone knows Netflix, right? Well, there's lots of competitors it might be, but he said our biggest competitor is sleep, right? Meaning they're trying to keep people watching. So the design intention there, they make the product super addictive, really, irresistible, and it works.
Yeah, that's right.
Design, right? Exactly. Yeah, it's designed for addiction, and when you have young kids as well, you see how powerful. But these are intentionally designed to do that. It's no accident. All those games, all of those addictive, super addictive reels and TikTok, they're designed for that. So I'm not here to don't worry, I'm not giving a khutbah about all these social media. Don't worry, that's not me. But I'm, if people are designing for attention and distraction, how might we, as this group of 160 designers on the call, how might we design for remembrance? How might we design for a more noble purpose? So another value, or let's call it a design value that is, again, very common, everyone understands it here, I'm sure, is, ikhlas, working with sincerity. So really thinking about how we can bring our heart into the work in a sincere way and really checking that, are we aligning this work to our values, or are we just doing a job? We're just trying to we just need money, go and do it. Well, sometimes that's fine, but over our lives and our professional career, or if you're running a company or building a startup, like I have a few times, or I've worked with others closely for many times, is being sincere, really understanding your purpose, and you're trying to use that design in a beautiful way. Working with ahsan, with excellence. So bringing a real craftsmanship approach. It doesn't mean we can spend 200 hours designing one logo or just, perfect typography, perfect kerning, lots of perfect kashida, spacing. This is fine. I mean, we want to do this, but, we can't spend 1 year doing this. We have to, but you can bring ahsan into your process. So sometimes people ask me, hey, Peter, like, all these great artists and architects of the past, they have this ahsan there. Well, I believe we can bring ahsan into our prototyping, into our UX process, into our research. Why can't we bring ahsan into our design research phase? So there's ways to bring excellence into our approach, our understanding, and trying to stay sincere and reflecting, the beauty that we see in creation around us. And if you're an entrepreneur or design professional, or you're also on the path of trying to build something, you need a lot of patience and sabr, and things don't always go right, as we know. So we have this rida. How do we have this contentment? So when things go wrong, you just like, alhamdulillah, that didn't work out. But when things go great, you also go, well, alhamdulillah, that's it's so trying to detach yourself from the outcome and accepting this path. Amana. Any talent that we have, if we have a great skill in design, if we're really good at typography, or we just really love making beautiful graphic design or digital design, that's a gift for you. Like, mashallah, you're great at designing digital prototypes, or you're excellent at, a particular type of skill, or motion graphics, or, fashion, or any kind of creative practice. It's a gift for you. It's your amana. And so the question becomes, I thought, how do we use that? How do we help people with that? So these are all words that and I'm not Arab, I'm not a native Arabic speaker, but these concepts are very universal. And I think this beautiful spiritual understanding brings a richness to it. That's what I found. So looking at, for example, just even having good coffee, good Wi-Fi, good friends, that's a big amana, and a lot of people today, they may not have the opportunities you have. And of course, we hope if all of these things happen, we might have barakah. We hope there's a beauty, there's blessings, there's a goodness in the work. We hope there's a barakah in it. So I do some different kind of design talks and lectures, and I was asked to give this talk at Apple Head HQ to the Apple product design team in Cupertino, San Francisco. And I asked these designers, have you come across Zen? Yes, everyone's heard this word Zen. Feng Shui. Yeah, everyone's heard of Feng Shui there. Have you heard of Wabi Sabi? This is a Japanese design philosophy. Everyone's like, yeah. Have you heard of Baraka? No. What is that? Is that a movie? What's Baraka? And so this is a powerful concept for a quarter of the world's population or more, but it's never even heard of the most valuable and influential design consultancies in the world. So I tried to explain this concept of barakah, and it's so much more than just blessings. It's a great richness, So thinking beyond, thinking for far-reaching success, and working together with other people. So all of these words, guys, I gave you 6 words. You can use any words that appeal to you. You can use any words, design values that you think, these spiritual values. Maybe there's different ones. There's all kind of different ways you could think about this. But I wanted to share that this is my kind of personal journey into thinking about, the heart and essence of the brand using this heart-centered design. So I'll be a little bit quick, Yara. I'm going to finish because I know you've got lots of people lined up. But I want to give a little.
Take your time. Your talk is very interesting. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Be careful. I might talk for like 3 hours, but I'm not going to do that. Don't worry. So
your talk is great. Take your time.
So I'm going to share a little bit of a video and a story, and you'll notice that I'm using. Shukran, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Nermin. Is thinking about. We use this phrase here. Yeah, we can now recording, no problem. This, how might we phrase? So there might be a number of designers on the call who work in more strategic design or design thinking, and you'll recognize this phrase, how might we? And that's simply a way of making sure that we're solving the right question. So this is an example. So when my daughters were growing up, I noticed that they played a lot with dolls and toys, but also saw that what kind of characters, and they were very informed by Disney, Hasbro, Mattel, And so I thought, I wanted to help create for them and then other parents that I knew, this more culturally diverse, more authentically represented brand. And so what happened is we created a brand called Salam Sisters. And, this was meant to be a more culturally diverse representation of, what this toy and playful brand could be. And so I'll play a video. I don't know if the sound will work. I'm not sure if I hit the right option. I'll just see if this video will play. Sorry guys, I'm actually hotspotting on my connection. Okay.
So I guess there's no audio in it. Okay.
I tell you what, it might be a bit tricky to play the video just because I apologize. I'm on a what I can do, I can send you the YouTube link. That's fine. But what I'll do, I'll skip the video just for this. But
okay, you can leave the YouTube link in the chat.
Yeah, no problem. That's cool. It's just a very short video, and you can check it out afterwards. But the story was to create inspiring characters, beautiful products, and to have more authentic representative. We didn't just take a Barbie doll and put hijab on it or put a scarf. That's like not authentic brand. That's not authentically designing with heart. That's just like, hey, how do we make money from Muslim parents by making a cheap doll? What we wanted to do is spend design, understanding the heart of the brand and the essence of the brand. And so we spent a year doing research. We worked with the kids themselves, the parents, the families. We tried lots of prototyping. We even went to a Spanish doll making company to help. We commissioned them to design the faces authentically, and they hand sculpted 5 different characters over a few months that more represented the diverse, beautiful cultural influence we want. We didn't just go to a factory and get like a head and like change the eyes. We really wanted to work this is when we talk about authentic brand, talking about the niyyah, with ikhlas. This was the intention of the brand wasn't just, hey, let's go make a doll and put in a box and try and make money. No, that's not authentic. We said, how do we make, if you remember the question at the start was, how do we inspire this next generation? So alhamdulillah, it was a very successful project, and we got a lot of good feedback, and we got a lot of good press coverage, and for me, it was very inspiring to work from the heart and help create a brand like this. And it was a really good design with heart example for me. One of my other favorite examples is like when I talk about, remember, holistic success. It's not just about sales. It's not just about, how much attention you can make. Authentic branding will really resonate with people. They'll feel it. They'll feel the sincerity of it. So you can see this quote here from actually as a Christian leader from the United States who loved the concept. And she sent me this beautiful note saying, how it was helping people in her community understand Islam. And being able to, through this brand and these dolls and the stories, be able to create a cultural bridge. So I was very happy that the success of the brand, the heart of this brand was so much more than just, hey, how do we sell dolls? So I think you guys get the point, and I can see some people in the chat there. Thank you for your kind feedback. It was a really nice story. Now there's quite a few other examples I could give, but I'm going to keep it short, and we could always share some examples. This is what I want to be relevant for any designers here, any creatives, but particularly anyone that's working on building an idea and trying to make that into a more entrepreneurially sustainable idea. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you're a professional designer and you're trying to build a product. You've got some ideas for something you want to create, or let's say maybe you're you're working with clients and you're trying to encourage them to think in a more holistic, heart-centered way. So what I was able to do, and this is sort of my hypothesis, is ask the question, how might we reimagine strategic design tools with a heart-centered approach? But more specifically, how might we embed spiritual aspirations into our entrepreneurial journey? And you could even ask it as how might we bring more cultural relevance to your journey? There's different ways to ask it. This is just my experience through design. And so what we can do is find that if you were to create your own design values that resonate with you personally, or maybe it's your team or your community, what are these different concepts that are very powerful words to you? I'm sure you can all come up with many. Is making these connections between direct strategic design activity. So for example, when you're working, some of the clients I've worked with, and alhamdulillah, there's been many over the years, and in Saudi as well, a few, and in Dubai, for example, Dubai Islamic Bank, quite a few, is we would take a particular word or value and bring that into the design process. So how might your design process include rahmah? Or if it's a particular project, al-adal, how might you reflect on this name in the brand activity directly? And it's a good way to get clients engaged if they align with those values. There's a tool here, one of them that I'd call the Heart-Centered Value Proposition Designer. It's a mouthful, sorry, it's long, but I'm sure you've all come across tools like this that help you shape up and really quickly be able to communicate your idea, right? So, if someone's like, hey, who is this idea for? What is it about? Using this tool, you can fill this in to help you. Now, this tool is not a new idea. I'm sure many of you have even done things like this, but what was missing for me is the intention. So you see here the example I'm giving. I'm talking about the program I teach called The Heart of Design. But at the end, you see that I feel that it's an amana for me to share this. So this is just one tool that you can try called the Heart-Centered Value Proposition Designer. Another tool is a reimagining of the business model canvas, or the lean canvas. So some of you might have come across these tools that help you map out your idea. So these are things you'll find in entrepreneurial spaces and things like Y Combinator. Plenty of startup design acceleration programs will encourage you to do a lean canvas or map your idea into one space. So who are your customers and so on. So this is just a slightly reimagining of that canvas. And I would say that all I'm doing here, guys, is just changing the language slightly. So instead of like, hey, how do we get more customers? How do we get more money? Well, we're saying, how might we serve our communities? What is the transformation we can help in their spiritual state? Or, how can we accommodate their needs more holistically? And what are my personal intentions in this project? Rather than just, I need to grow this thing and, make it successful. Like, what are the ways, what are the values that might inform your design process? So just to, as an example, and I'm almost done, guys, is, this is just a small example. This is a startup company that, early stage startup, they reached out and they were very early stage. They came to one of my early programs. I said, hey, why don't you have a go using this tool? And so what they do is they use this tool, the Heart-Centered Design Canvas, and they were able to easily map out their whole intentionality, map out their communities they're serving, and really quickly communicate your idea. So if you're a designer, if you're a creative professional, if you're working on a project, even working for any kind of professional environment, this is a simple tool anyone can do. This helps you map out your idea, and it's really good for clients. It's really good for teams. Hey guys, let's just spend 1 hour, get all our thinking into one place. So I definitely recommend it. It works in pretty much all situations to make sure there's clarity of purpose and intention. So that worked really well for this company. And you can get these templates for free. In fact, I'll just put it in the chat here. They're all online. If you want any of them, I've just got them all on my website, theheartofdesign.com. And I teach this program as well. Anyone is welcome to join us. We have Notion templates and so on. You can also apply this more broadly to heart-centered design thinking. So design thinking process is how might you bring more of these spiritual values in there. I think, Yara, I might stop there because I feel like you've got, so many great speakers lined up, and I worry I'm going to take too much time from them, and that's not very heart-centered.
We can have more 10 minutes. Don't worry. Your talk is very amazing.
Okay.
So yeah, we can have more 10 minutes more.
Thank you. Well, what I'll do, we might go. Thank you, guys. Everyone's super friendly. Where is everyone, by the way? Is everyone in Saudi? Or is Yara everyone in Riyadh or Jeddah? I mean, let me know where you're from, guys, as well. Feel free to put your cities. I'm just curious. Feel free to include. In Yemen. Okay, awesome. All right, I'm gonna get so sidetracked now. Jordan.
We
مصر
have a lot of
الرياض
Arab
العراق
activities actually.
دمام أنا أحب مدينة دمام في دمام أنا أحب شو ما اسمه إثرا is beautiful design center
Yes,
إثرا I
yeah, in
love it.
Saudi it's great.
It's amazing. I love it. Anyway, Medina, mashallah. Sorry, guys, I'll get distracted. Surya, alhamdulillah. من Maghreb. These are all my favorite places. Gaza, mashallah, mashallah, Gaza. Wow, guys, Doha. Okay, beautiful. We have Makkah. Wow, we have all the heart-centered people on one
Yeah,
call.
that's
This
right.
is fantastic. Yes, I'm working on the book. Thank you. People are messaging. I'm working on a book. What I'll do, maybe I'll see if I can find one more example, and then I think we should have a Q&A conversation.
Yeah, sure.
Let me just go through. I'm gonna just click through a few and see if I can find a good example. These are some other projects. I'm gonna just go really fast. There's a few different projects where we use this heart-centered design approach. This was a fun one. So the design challenge was from Dubai Islamic Bank. How might we gamify financial literacy among high school age students? So in the UAE, how do we help, basically the school students make better decisions about finances? But more specifically, there's a challenge of like, how might we bring some Islamic finance concepts, about understanding debt and different tools. So that was the design challenge, and we don't normally think Islamic finance and gaming. It's not normally a good combination. The people go, that's so boring. Normally just lectures and talks and whatever. So what we did is we created a game called Mizan, and Mizan is really a concept of, Monopoly. How do you win Monopoly? Monopoly, you just have to steal all the money and crush all your friends, right? And like, I've got all the property. That's Monopoly. So we thought, okay, that's fun, but it's also, it's a bit harsh. So we thought, okay, let's take the same concept, play it a little bit, and to encourage living with a balance and purpose. So with Mizan, you actually have to balance your legacy. So what's your contribution in life? How are you helping the world and the planet and encouraging other people? Your knowledge, so how are you learning throughout your whole life? Wellness, so how are you looking after yourself and, mentally, spiritually, physically, and money as well, because, you do need money as well in this world. So, the game is using this heart-centered approach. It's just a simple example. And that was through, this series of heart-centered design. But we also managed to include, gamifying concepts around, technical Islamic banking concepts, like a murabaha contract or something. Normally you go, oh, I don't understand all this stuff. So I learned a lot about Islamic banking even through this game. This is another example of that. Another one maybe I'll share is what I call Tales of Khayal. This is one of my projects I'm working on personally. I'm developing a series of comics, and inshallah it will be an animation and game in future, bismillah, called Tales of Khayal. And Khayal is inspired by deep spiritual imagination. It's a very powerful kind of concept. So I've been working on this Khayal series. Maybe I can put the link here as well. I'll just put my link in here if anyone's interested. talesofkhayal.com. And we have a series of comics. I hope it will be in future a video game. We're just starting with some concepts and we've developed some prototypes. It will take some time. We finished a book. There's a nice video here, but I think I'm so sorry guys, my video may not work, but I think it's on the website as well. Anyway, maybe I'll just see if there's any more. Islam Imagined is helping encourage young people to think about faith and how that might apply to technology and looking at how we can apply innovation in the future. So that project's here, and bringing design thinking to young people. Like this one here, for example, asking like a 7-year-old, hey, let's design the space mosque, the masjid in space. And they're like, So this one on the left here, you can see down in the corner, it's a little space mosque by someone. And what I loved about this is they have men's entrance, women's, and aliens all welcome. So it's fun to do design activity. And we don't really need a mosque in space. Obviously, we have a lot of problems on Earth to solve, but it's encouraging imagination, creativity, and making sure that our faith, and our spiritual path is, it can be aligned with our work. It's not two separate things. These values can go together. Yeah, we have the Minecraft mosque as well. So I'll probably stop sharing there. I feel there's lots of other examples I can give, but just to give you an overall feeling of how I believe you could bring your heart and your values and your almost your spiritual and holistic understanding of the way you live your life into align it with design practice and how to use tools like the value proposition and the design canvas to bring these together. So they don't have to just live separately. There's ways to help you bring them together, and that is the heart of design. So maybe we should do some questions and conversations.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. I'm always inspired, by the way, and influenced by your discussion. And this way of thinking helped me a lot when I was working on Kashida. So thank you so much. I hope everyone enjoyed this session. And maybe we can take 5 questions from the audience now.
Yeah, ما في
I
مشكلة.
guess a lot of people have a lot of questions too.
تفضل. Go ahead, but it has to be in English, sorry. Arabic عندي سؤال. يارا مترجمة.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the mutarjima, don't worry.
Everyone's in English though. I don't know if it's translation on my chat, but all the questions are coming in English. So thank you. I can read them. So, but you go ahead,
Yeah,
Yara.
okay,
Why don't
that's
you
great.
pick some for me? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. Any particular ones? There's some good ones here.
Okay, let's see.
There's a question about the book. Yes.
I'm so excited for the book.
Yeah, me too. I got to. So it's in it's doing a full edit now. Alhamdulillah, the full draft is written, and it's in a second edit, so it should be out at the end of the year, inshallah, or
That's
maybe
great.
early next
So
year.
exciting.
So yeah. So thanks. You can check it out on that same website. So yeah, I can't wait to finish. Do you want to pick a question, Yara, or do you want me to pick? What would you like?
You can question. You can pick any question. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. All right. Okay. This is a great one, Sergo. Thanks, Sergo. Sergo says, how would a designer working at a firm or studio deal with clients and managers who don't care about those 5 values? Well, that's a very fair question.
Yeah,
and Sergo,
that's right.
And Sergo, I definitely understand that. I would say, and alhamdulillah, I've probably done maybe, I don't know, maybe 500 design projects in the last 20 years. I'm not sure. To be fair, I should qualify that. But there's been several hundred. And by that, I mean working with a client, understanding a problem, and then working through with them. Now, I would say that what would be great, Sergo, I mean, it's every kind of client has a different rhythm and flow and expectation. And many of them don't see the value of it if you just showed them. They're like, yeah, whatever, it's all just, just get the work done. We need to. Some people will be like that. What you need to do is make it about the audience, make it about their clients. So if your client is saying we need to help design some campaign or some graphics, you can, but what you should do is say, hey, listen, so we want to authentically understand our audience. We want to make sure it's meaningful to them. We want to make sure that the brand we're building, really connects and resonates emotionally, maybe even spiritually with our audience. So in order to do that, let's go through some activities to make sure we're thinking holistically about the brand that we're building. So don't make it about you or don't make it about the client, make it about the audience. And you could encourage them to go through an activity that would then make sure you take some feedback from the audience that you're able to resonate with them. Ideally you would go through a process of discovery, research, but it's ultimately, Sergo, about explaining the value. They've got to make sure that, and if they're not convinced, find examples. You could ask the client, what's their favorite brand? What are their kids' favorite brands? Why is it so meaningful? And that's that. I think trying to make it about the audience as well. And over time, when you can show your own examples, 1, 2, 3 case studies of your own, where you've invested a time in making sure it's meaningful work, it works with the audiences, then you have more confidence to make sure the client allows that. So hopefully that's an okay answer. Good question though. Let's keep going. Do you do any events in ITHRA? Yes, inshallah, I'm hoping to do. They asked me to. I went and met the team, so I think early next year. But if you know anyone at ITHRA, you should go and say, hey, make sure we get Peter, because yeah, I would love to come back and do some workshops with them. So I hope to return.
There's a question about marketing. Can you name an example of using those values in marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's quite a few. So there's a couple of my favorite, a couple of brands. I'll give a mainstream brand, and then I'll give a more unique boutique brand. So one of my favorite brands that I helped design is called OK.xyz. This was a Web3 digital blockchain-based lifestyle brand that we helped create. And we looked at it as an innovative blockchain technology that we wanted to bring our values into. And we were able to create a more meaningful, purposeful way of using emerging Web3 technology. We also have done some work for marketing Greenpeace. So we did Greenpeace, so like a climate activist organization. We helped do some design for them, and also at COP28, which is the climate change conference, we did some marketing campaigns for them around Ramadan. So for example, we made a game in Ramadan and quizzing people. We said like, hey, take the truth or dare challenge of climate change in Ramadan. So as a Greenpeace kind of game, we had all these influencers playing it. And it was things like, how much water are you going to use? Are you going to use less? Are you going to have food left over for iftar, or are you going to try and eat less? So we made this little game and we had this competition. So that was using our values. And then another one as a brand, I'll give one more example. We've done a lot of design for a startup called LaunchGood, which are an excellent crowdfunding website. We did their marketing, their branding, and they grew from when we first started about, I think, 20 employees. Now they have 150, and they've done about $800 million in revenue. Oh, maybe I put the wrong website. Sorry. I'll check that. I'll come back on the OK one. No problem. So yeah, there's some examples there, and try. Let me just do the OK site. Maybe it's not there. Anyway, I can send some more examples to Yara as well. Any other questions? How can we make our work have value even if the clients can't understand that? I think it takes time to build a portfolio where you have to be able. The first time you do it, they might just think it's all fluffy and it doesn't really add any value. It's just, but you've got to, first of all, ideally you want to find the clients that align and resonate with this. So, some of the things I'm sharing tonight, some people are resonating with that, right? Some of you on the chat are like, wow, this is a cool idea. I like this. This approach is, something powerful. If you can find clients that also resonate with that, together you can have, inshallah, a really strong collaboration because you're bringing your values into it. It doesn't mean the work you make has to look Arabic. It doesn't have to look bring Islamic content. I'm saying look at the values, making sure you're aligned, and the brand is from the heart. It's very sincere in it. So it's an easy way to say look for the right clients, but over time as you start some work here, you'll inshallah get clients. And if you're not getting the clients, if it's hard to get the clients in the projects, then do some side projects that show those values. Do some volunteer and community client projects, and then you can become more known for that. That's what I did for my team, and over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, that helped develop the type of work that aligned with my values.
Okay, that's great, Peter. I guess because we have another discussion after you. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time and your wonderful discussion. I hope everyone enjoyed as me. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was really great.
It was wonderful, actually. Yeah.
Thank you so much. No, you're all very kind.
Thank you so
I'll leave
much.
my link in here, and
Yeah, please
anytime.
leave your LinkedIn and Instagram so we can follow you.
Thanks everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Wa alaikum assalam. Bye bye. Have a nice day.